I've been asked by the organizers to talk about resource utilization. So I'll be talking to you with my economist hat rather than my surgical hat. This statement borrowed from Chris Evert Lloyd's acceptance of a Laureus Award in the 80s, where she was giving an acceptance speech and she said, when I was younger, I was like a robot, wind her up and she plays tennis. That's what the view about robots was in the 1980s. So if this is the kind of robot you're going to use, all you need is a winding up key in terms of resources. But that's not what we're using. We're using this thing. So obviously we're going to need a lot more resources. So when you're embarking on anything new, obviously every one of us has to go through a resource cycle. The resource cycle involves several steps. One is the resource planning. Like Ravi, who preceded me, has said, you should think about this only if you have a reasonable case volume, because you need to pick and choose. So unless you have a large case volume, you're going to end up doing one case that is useful to do robotically a year, and that's not going to justify either the training, buying the robot, or leasing the robot, or buying the instruments, and spending all the amount that you're going to do in training. Secondly, you've got to see, is it feasible within your system? That means you need to have a background of hepatobiliary surgery, you need to have a culture of major surgery, and of course you need to have all the other paraphernalia associated with advanced robotic surgery as well as hepatobiliary surgery. And any planning cycle begins with an assessment of what you have before you plan on what you need. So that's what you need to do. Second thing, obviously in all organizations in the public or private sector, resource allocation is a major issue. So we need to be able to allocate the material, we need to allocate the manpower, and we need to allocate the people that you can send for training. You can't just whisk away 10, 15 people from a system to train them in robotics if it's not going to realize its potential within a limited period of time. Finally, the third step is obviously the resource acquisition. You need to get your hands on the robot. It may be purchased or it may be leased. You need to see what hands instruments you will require, because you can't get all of them for a robotic system. You need a laparoscopic instrumentation as well. And finally, you need to see whether you want to spend time on training manpower or you want to actually acquire the manpower, both in terms of the trained surgeons and assistants. And finally, the resource utilization in man hours, material, maintenance, and obviously you've got to allocate some resources to research and development. For example, what we've learned, like Ravi said, is that robotics is great, but available instrumentation is not designed for liver surgery. So you find these limitations. So we would love to interact with the people who are manufacturing the instruments and tell them our problems so that they can innovate. And obviously it's going to require back-ended working from both sides, both from the user as well as the developer. So in microeconomics, basically resource utilization is optimum utilization and efficient utilization, or what is a scarce resource. Simply it means the ratio of the resources allocated to any process upon the total resources in any system. So that's what I'm going to speak on. So robotic HPV surgery is going to involve direct resources and indirect resources. The direct resources will be the capital cost. Obviously, the leading system today is the Da Vinci system, so that you need to have acquired that. At the best of times, that doesn't come cheap. You need to have the instruments and you need to have the accessories. These instruments are expensive. They can be used for a maximum of 10 times, particularly the endo-wristed ones, and the costs some would consider prohibitive. Secondly, you need to have a service contract because you need to maintain this robot and you need to keep on acquiring the spares. And the third is learning and training, which Ravi has already dwelt on. But basically, you need to go in stages. You need to get oriented into using the robot. You need to be oriented in laparoscopic and minimal access hepatobiliary surgery. Initially, you need to be able to allocate theatre time, because it's not possible unless you have a huge volume to allocate a dedicated theatre for robotic surgery. So the theatre time initially in your learning curve is going to be longer. So that means you're doing it at the expense of other surgeries. So there's a resource utilization there. You're going to have people working overtime, which you need to pay them for that. So that's another resource that you're going to use more than usual. When you're in your learning curve, due to problems in docking, undocking, lack of familiarity, there may be breach of sterility. So you need to have more covers and you need to have more instrument changes. So there's more resources that you need. And because you're familiarizing with a new system, you may end up damaging the thing. So that's your mode. And finally, the cost of conversion, particularly in liver surgery, would mean de-docking, going to an open system, and not to mention the blood loss. So the conversion itself may be requiring more resources than other surgeries. The indirect resources, obviously, all these things that you use are going to be sterilized. You need to maintain a sterile environment. The robotic drape alone in Indian rupees is approximately 18,000 rupees in Medanta.
So that's another resource that you're not going to use in other surgeries. The disposable and consumables, as the choice in case of conversion is to complete the procedure in a minimal access manner. So you need to have a standby laparoscopic instrumentation chart and all the accessories associated. It's an energy consuming operation. You require energy for running the robot, the transaction devices, and all the other instruments that are running.
The medical gases that you're going to use, the ancillary support
Support system like the anesthesia and blood bank that are going to be on their toes in your initial level. So is HPV surgery more resource intensive? As we all who are doing open laparoscopy surgery know, that there are peculiarities of HPV surgery which make it naturally more resource intensive. You need instrumentation for retraction because it's a solid organ sitting between the just under the chest, under the diaphragm, under the rib cage. So you require devices to retract. There is a mobile field because of diaphragmatic excursions and pulsations of nearby vascular structures. Most liver pathologies are associated with portal hypertension, so you're dealing with more bleeding, high pressure collaterals. The bleeding is more because there's dual blood supply, and some of these problems are associated with clotting disorders. And you have anatomical variation, and conversion rates, particularly initially, are both dangerous, expensive, and bloody. The specific resources, of course, you require, particularly in liver surgery, will be the transaction devices, blood-in components, and hemostatic devices. So HPV surgery in itself, robotic or otherwise, is anyway more resource intensive. So this is the kind of resources that you need to allocate for an average, and this is only the direct resources that you see. This is borrowed from a recent review published in Surgical Clinics of North America. So pros and cons, I won't dwell on this, these are all known to all of you. So this is what makes it probably worth the effort. Now regarding cost benefit, in terms of all this resource utilization, there is very little good quality data in HPV surgery. And most centers, apart from Chubianity Center and some other centers across the world, are at various stages in the learning curve. The benefits are not obviously quantifiable, but the current benefits include patient comfort, reduced morbidity, and probably a faster rehabilitation. To summarize, and this is my last slide, HPV surgery, as we all know, is naturally resource intensive. Robotic HPV surgery seems to be the obvious step for high volume centers. The resources that will be consumed both will be direct, indirect, material as well as human. The most resource utilization will be during the learning curve. The best resource utilization can be achieved through a coordinated effort, skilled and trained manpower, and cost benefit data at the moment seems to be immature. Thank you.